Hello, everyone, and welcome to the October TAO monthly update from your team at ID&I. Firstly, I'm going to pass it over to Karim for his overview, and then we'll pass it over to Maurici for his update this month.
Thank you, Fola. Welcome, everyone, to our October update. We've had a very productive month, another productive month, I might say. Let me go really a quick overview of what everybody did, and then they will individually take a deeper dive into their tasks. So Andre and Moaz redesigned the front page for the Agoras Live website, and Andre implemented a lot more features. The biggest feature was moving from the Jitsi video conferencing system to the big blue button conferencing system, which is working a lot better than Jitsi, which was showing some limitations there. But among some of the features that that Andre implemented had to do with label searches and developer of the month and user ratings as well. Juan has continued working on the first order logic. He, at the request of Ohad, he implemented the less than constraint in the first order logic quantifiers, as well as the min and max quantifiers. He also continued, he helped Maurici work on debugging the eval grammar. And as far as second order logic is concerned, he continues doing some research on representing the power set with some help from Ohad on that front, which is a very challenging problem. Tomas continued working on the TML IDE, which you might be able to use soon. So he refreshed the IDE, brought it up to speed with the rest of the code base, and then he implemented nested programs, which was a big accomplishment. He also implemented the if and while conditions. Maurici, who will go first this week, he's the newest addition on our team, and we're very happy to have him on board. He hit the ground running, literally, and he implemented two major features called quote and eval, which he will show you here soon. But he implemented it for an arbitrary length TML program, which was not easy. It took several iterations, but that's par for the course. And then having completed that, he's already attacked the conjunctive query requirement, also known as CQC. That's it for the development overview. I'll turn it over to Maurici, who will talk about his implementation of quote and eval.
Hello, it's Maurici. So yes, I implemented quote and eval, and I did it in successive iterations. So with the current implementation, quote and eval should support propositional logic, and it should also support first order logic. It works for arbitrarily complex TML programs. And this is achieved by using a tree-like structure, which essentially means that you can have as many deeply nested universal quantifiers, or you can have deeply nested existential quantifiers. And the present implementation should actually be enough to support self-interpretation. So you should be able to call eval on a program containing eval, and you can do this as deeply as you want. So you can call eval on a program containing eval, which is also itself evaluating another program containing eval. And right now where it's at is we just need to comprehensively test this, and we just need to make sure that it's working correctly for larger size programs, and coordinating with Juan on that front. This is important in the context of TML because there is a need for self-reference. We're concerned especially about topics such as self-referential laws, which is the logic of self-referential laws we need to be able to encode the logic of self-referential laws in TML. The next thing that I started working on is conjunctive query containment, and to this end, I have started producing SAT formulas which encode homomorphisms between different TML queries. And basically the importance of it is that if we can tell whether two queries are equivalent or whether the results of one query are contained within another query, then we can optimize TML better. If you know that one query is contained within another query, then you can eliminate the first theory and just leave the latter theory. And the more that we can eliminate theories, the more that we can recognize that theories are equivalent, and the more that we can eliminate equivalent queries, the more that we can do both of those things will mean the less computation that we have to do, the less duplicated computation. So yes, that's essentially what I've been working on. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Maurici. That was extremely powerful. I'm going to pass it over to Tomasz for his update this month.
Hello, everyone. So this month I did some work on an online editor for TML. I tried to revive my old work from a year ago, and I'm finishing syntax highlighting and some UI bugs. Then I implemented nested programs, which now you can use. You can have several programs in a sequence and use the curly brackets, and you can also take a program and have it inside another program. And if there is a program inside another program, it's a nested, and it acts as another program in the sequence. So when the current program finishes, then it runs all the nested programs, the sequence of all nested programs. And this feature allows to structure the code, and also it allows us to implement like conditions for if and while. So for this, I added transformations of each nested program into several steps, like phases, because each program there are facts which are being added, facts which are deleted, and also rules which are executed. So this is in like 3 steps which happens in each program, and I need to transform every program, every fact add or fact deletion to a rule, so I can later make it conditioned by if or while. Yeah. So and for if and while you can use first order formula, and this is translated into rule which guards the nested program. Yeah, so that's all from me this month.
All right, thank you very much, Tomasz. You can actually go and play with the most updated version of TML using Tomasz's IDE that he's been creating. It's at the link of tml.idni.org. That's tml.idni.org. I'll leave a link in the description so you can play with it. I'll put it over to Killian now for his update this month.
Yes, hello everybody. So this month, as usual, I've started with the transcription of the monthly update. You can find in the subreddit, in the TORChain subreddit, as usual. At the same time, I've been also looking to get various of our community members more engaged. So we had one community member offering his support in handling the transcriptions of the monthly update. So yeah, we are glad to be able to get him more involved and help us with the transcriptions. I've also done further aggregation, outreach, and follow-up of scientific researchers in the fields of KRR and finite model theory, and just recently also in this scope of BDDs. And we have been having various interviews with promising researchers in the fields of KRR and finite model theory, and hope that soon we will be able to announce also some partnerships that we have formed in that regard. Yeah, we also have been organizing an AMA with an Indonesian Telegram community called Bang Petang. I've done the pre and post organization of that AMA. We got a lot of interesting questions out of this AMA. I think we'll also leave a description to the article that has been published on their website about this AMA. And yeah, I've also used then these questions and answers to also populate our Twitter channel. And yeah, to have, like, it was a good experience to do this AMA, to get all this content and be able to answer all these respective questions. Yeah, and we also got various new members on our Telegram channel due to this AMA. But those Telegram members that actually joined our Telegram channel due to this AMA, weren't really active. So yeah, we're also not sure, like, are all these members 100% legit, or like were some of them bots? So it was still a very interesting experience. We also had a call with a potential partner for doing the swap. So Horizon, you probably know that blockchain platform. They contacted us, and we had a call with them to discuss, okay, does it make sense for us to actually do a switch, not to ERC20, but to Horizon? And as we know that one of the main concerns of our community is access to liquidity, and Horizon wasn't able to provide us, or is not able to provide a platform like Uniswap or decentralized exchanges with high volume, where liquidity is guaranteed. Because of that, we decided to not do a swap towards Horizon. But at the same time, we are thinking, okay, maybe we can still have some sort of symbiotic relationship in the future with them. For example, by licensing TML as a decidable smart contract language to them. But yeah, these are just thoughts for now, and we have to see how we go about it in the future, if we can turn this into a product. I've also been refining the ambassador program to some degree. So far we didn't really have applications, or very few applications for the ambassador program, and I want to change that. The ambassador program kind of becomes more gamified, and where lots of our core community members can participate and can gain points by completing various challenges. For example, in content creation, like blog article creation, or completing videos, or creating infographics, or hosting webinars and meetups. And the goal is to have then a leaderboard where we show the progress of all the IDNI ambassadors. And yeah, after a certain period of time, maybe 4 months, the top 100 IDNI ambassadors, according to their points, will receive a share of the rewards pool that has been reserved for this ambassador program. I've also done some outreach, or some advertising to get some local community managers on board. Mainly, we are looking for people in countries where crypto is quite popular, like Korea and Japan. We've had a few prospects, but no candidate yet that is convincing. But it's a goal for us to establish local communities in areas where blockchain and crypto is quite popular. So we are definitely keeping an eye on that. And then there's been some concerns in our community about using Whitebit as an exchange for buying and selling Agoras, which we cannot really understand. I mean, we can understand that because of DSEX and CowX having had some troubles in the past, we can understand to be a little bit to have some bias towards centralized exchanges, but so far no one of our community members had any troubles using Whitebit. And the Whitebit team also has been very open to us in terms of communication. So we are hosting a Whitebit AMA on November 4th, 4 p.m. Central European time. And we very much would appreciate you to ask any relevant questions you have with regards to Whitebit. You can just propose them to me via Telegram or Discord. But at the same time, we have a form, a Google form, where you can just propose your questions. And then also during the Whitebit AMA, you can also state your questions in a live format. So just be present if you like to propose a question. And last but not least, I found like a kind of conference. It's a virtual conference. It's called Decidim Fest 2020. The topic is democracy and technology in times of emergency. And they have a panel, they host a panel, it's called Participation by Design. And I think that's quite fitting, our project. So I've been writing them, asking them if we can participate. The deadline has already passed, but I'm still trying to maybe get us a slot there. So I might be tweeting about this as well. And maybe the more of you also retweet our request, the more attention it receives among this conference, the higher might be the chances of us actually getting a spot there. So yeah, you will see on Twitter about that. All right, that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Killian. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to pass over to Umar for his updates this month.
Hi, team. So over the last month, some initial days were spent on doing documentation for eBNF and macros. Then we looked into how regular expression searching can be used to detect some facts while looking at the grammar without the usual TML's fixed point calculation algorithm. So that could make the system run faster. So we did that for built-ins, null productions. We also developed an algorithm to detect cycles, because if you have cycles for the non-terminals, then you can't map them to the regular expression matching. Also, there were some bugs in the first order logic conversion from the grammar. So we fixed that, simplified that code, so that was all. Looking forward to.
What I'll do next is I'll pass it over to Andre for his update this month.
Hello everyone. So, last October was a very productive month indeed. I'm almost done finishing all basic features of our Agoras Live platform. Let me quickly show you what I have done so far. First of all, I've implemented person of the day. You can see it on the left. It's the user that is chosen once per day among all users of the platform who has their profile filled with profile picture and description added and rate added. Next, I've implemented infinite scroll. Now you can browse through users infinitely. Next, I completely remade login and registration system. Now it allows me to easily add external platform to it. For example, let's create a completely new user using Facebook. And it's done. I added a new user using only Facebook. Let's go to the profile for the next feature. I've implemented tags. Now you can add whatever tags you like. For example, let's add software and tech. And voila, we have now tags. Of course, these tags are searchable and browsable. For example, let's look for our Albert Einstein and click on this tag. And here it is. Next, let's go to Albert Einstein for more. I made normal rating system. Now I can rate a user I had experience with, well, like I had a call with. For example, I can now rate Albert Einstein whatever I like 3 stars or no, not 3, 5 stars, of course. Next, I finally moved our base platform from Jitsi to Big Blue Button because it's much more advanced and much more suited for our needs. Let's make a call through a new platform for an example. It's me from the mobile. So that's pretty much it for October. In the next month I plan to finish a small test everything, yes, and move to payment system because it bothers me very much. That's it. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
All right. Thank you very much, Andre. And I'm going to pass it over to Juan for his update this month.
Hi, everybody. Yes, as Karim advanced this month, the development effort was mostly on the first order logic support. We had there several items to review and to extend its functionalities. So we have been elaborating on several tests, plus fixes to implementation and wrapping up several open threads there. And on the second order logic, I mostly focus in analyzing the combinatorics of alternative representations to the power set. It's all, there are all mostly extensions to what is a BDD, but yeah, from the as a general guideline right now, we are sticking to BDDs as we have them, with a deep analysis that actually OHAD is doing over the Boolean function. So in that particular topic, I think we still need to make progress in order to wrap up what we are looking forward. What I'm going to be doing next is to share the screen of my computer over here and do a quick demo of a couple of first order formulas that we are already successfully computing. It's worth mentioning that we still need to fix and we are aware of some issues in implementation, but the solution is already in the design table. So here is the first formula that we are going to share is the binary addition for integers. This formulation comes from Immermann's book in Descriptive Complexity. Actually, it's proposition 1.9, where he states that addition is first order logic, first order definable. So basically here we have two integers, A and B of 8 bits. We are encoding them as setting true to each bit, which is 1. Otherwise, the bit is false. Bits are ordered, bit 0 is the most significant, 0 is the most significant bit, while 7 is the less significant bit. So here are our numbers. And you can see that carries computed as a quantified Boolean function. You can see over here that this carry comes from this part of the formula, when these two carries come from this part of the formula. So we pay attention to force both parts of the carry formula, and over here we have the final solution formula that combines the carry ins with the bits of each of the numbers. So this is the basic execution. We can see that the solution, it has a 1 on the most significant bit, 3 zeros, and all ones in the less significant bits, as we are clarifying over here. These are the numbers. You can just check the correct result. Okay, as a second formula, as Maurici has been put in advance, he's making progress with the eval functionality. So what I did on the logic solver side is to test what it would be a formula from the eval resolution. In this particular case, we have the transitive closure formula as it is stated in Appendix E of the white paper, and by defining the transitive with the transitive closure logic formula, we can compute for any relationship that we state as input. And over here, it's also this basic example running, and it stands for the end user, for the viewers, that this is the actual transitive closure of the provided input over here. So that's all by now. And looking forward to put this first order logic solver available for everybody with complete and extended functionality as soon as possible.
Thank you very much, Juan. All right, and from my side, we've been having some conversations with Sullivan Law, a law firm in the US, and they've just been giving us some advice as it relates to this swap from Omni to RC20. We know that you guys have been discussing it in the Telegram channel, and we do want to stress that that's something on our to-do list, and will be something that we can focus on after the Agoras Live release for many reasons, which include the fact that we'll need to have a legal opinion for the US market, which can only come after the Agoras Live release. We've also been working on the research for the marketing and the design. As you know, I and I've been working on this design brief, putting together a picture of, you know, something for our designers to work with. And we are still working that out at the moment. It's still a work in progress. Many ideas to put down to make sure that we promote ourselves in a way in which encapsulates, you know, what we're doing over the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years in the future. So that's something that we're working on at the moment. Again, I've been working on the administrative tasks, setting up accounts with the relevant companies. As a blockchain company, you guys know that it's a bit more of a challenge to open up accounts with different services. So that's something that I've been working on. Some small minor roadblocks, but we've managed to get over sort of some of the most important ones and the biggest ones this month. You know, with that, it's making life a lot easier. We had some internal discussions about how we can increase our productivity and you know, putting workflows in place to make sure that you know, all of our development is you know, at high speed and high quality. And you know, as you can see, this month has been extremely extremely productive. It's in a lot of progress, and yeah, it's there's proofs in the pudding there. Unfortunately, Mark and the IDNI company have parted ways. We just didn't find many ways for us to synchronize in our work environments. But I would say that's again a positive for us. You know, it's a lot better than having someone who's here and doesn't feel like we're both benefiting each other in a big way. So you know, in a sense, it's great to be able to then focus our efforts on finding the people who you know, fill the space and the gaps that are more suited to our needs. And another initiative that we're working on at the moment, you know, we're kind of ready for, you know, due to the, you know, where we're at in the development, is there's some grant opportunities that Professor Avishai Karmi is going to be leading. We've been outlining some opportunities that we can apply to in particular fields such as advancements in communication, big disruption, information and networks, AI. So there are some opportunities that we feel that might be useful for us, and you know, we're at the right stage to do now. So that's being, you know, we're in the initial phases of working on these grant opportunities. And that's it from me, and I'll pass it over to Ahad for his update this month.
Hello everyone. I've been as usual working on many deep stuff in relation to how to solve second order logic, but just yesterday I had some breakthrough and found an approach that seemed to avoid the main difficulties that we encountered so far. So that's very promising, but need to be studied more. And I just also wanted to mention that what Maurice did is basically a full self-interpreter. It is not just eval. It is a self-interpreter that we wanted so long to have, we didn't know how to do. And only with the white paper I managed to come up with the initial solution, and Maurice turned it into a complete solution, and we have it implemented. So finally, TML is able to interpret itself, and that's an important milestone. And also to enhance more on what Tomasz said, spoke about if then else and while. Indeed, now TML is much closer to, is a much more convenient programming language. You can use arbitrary first order formulas like you saw from Juan, and you're able to combine them with if conditions and while loops. There are also macros that Umar implemented last month, so we really see TML getting into a much more usable and convenient programming language. And that's all for now. All
right, thank you, Ahad. And I just want to say, just to recap on two of the important notes, which was the Whitebit AMA on November the 4th at 4 p.m. Central European Time, and the TML demo is available at tml.idni.org. All right, stay tuned for the Q&A questions. Thank you. All right, and this question is from Dana, and he asks, how could we scale program synthesis in beta Agoras when the calculations I've seen seem to suggest an exponential growing search space with large complex applications? Or will program synthesis be limited to small, simple algorithms?
Yes, well, exponential complexity is even modest for synthesis. It can be way beyond exponential. And indeed, it can be the case, just like in almost any setting of solving logics, that the problem is just not feasible, and the computer just doesn't find the answer in reasonable time. And of course, we will need to to take care of such cases. And more importantly is to be able to solve simple problems in reasonable time, as you mentioned, and this is indeed the main difficulty. We will not be able to get over the worst case running time, but it should be definitely possible to solve simple instances easily. And this is basically what took the whole research of second order logic. Solving second order logic brute force is very, very easy. The big question is how to make it fast, at least for easy instances. And that's, this will be, of course, an ongoing effort to move the line all the time such that more problems become feasible.
All right, thanks, Ahad. And the next question again is from Dana, and he asks, is TML currently capable to be used to optimize tau by methods like combinatorial optimization? If yes, can you tell us a bit more about how TML can be used to solve optimization problems and how the knowledge market of Agoras may help with this? If no, can you tell us what needs to be done to reach this milestone?
Yes, TML is a very good tool for combinatorial optimization. Even if it is not necessarily as fast as other optimizers, at least not currently, but as Karim pointed out, in the world of optimization, another big problem aside the problem of speed is the problem of how to formulate the problem. Usually you have some real life case and converted it to some standard optimization problem is not straightforward at all. On TML, you will just be able to, you are just able to just take your real life case and ask for the optimum. So yes, there is a strong connection between TML and better combinatorial optimization. If it will, to which extent it will be affecting optimizations of programs to run faster, this is yet to be seen. Of course, the word optimization here used in two different meanings. There are optimization problems, what we call in mathematics optimization problems, and there is optimizing programs. This is not exactly the same. And for the latter, we will indeed have to see.
All right, thank you very much, Ohad. And this next question again is from Dana. And he says, on the topic of optimization, assuming we do have this ability on tau, can we apply it for business model optimization, including game theory?
Yes, that would be indeed a major use case, definitely.
And this question is from Redneve, and they ask, is feasibility totally confirmed regarding the implementation of second order logic, whether it is Horn clauses, Crom, or Ackermann?
Know that Horn, Crom, and Ackermann do not cover full second order logic. They cover precisely feasible cases. The conversion from Horn, Crom, and Ackermann second order to first order is straightforward and is not growing much. It is just small and easy change of the formula. So for those three cases, it is definitely totally feasible, as you said. But for full second order logic, it will never be totally feasible because there are proven computational complexity bounds that say that it can never be always feasible. But as we said before, in the very effort that we put on this front is how to make it feasible for simple problems.
And this next question was a question that was raised in the Telegram group. And it is, are we still moving from the Omni protocol to ERC20? So this is something we're looking into at the moment, and we are trying to pull this off. At the moment, the hurdles require us to have Agoras Live available. That allows us to have the US legal opinion, which then allows us to include a much larger portion of the current token holders within the swap. And for us to be able to just swap everyone at once, which is exactly what we want to do. What I would also say is that we have been looking into other blockchains, such as Zen, as Killian mentioned, but we found that they just don't offer the same amount of liquidity as an ERC20 token would, and there are just other benefits that we can see ERC20 could offer us at the moment. So that's still the path. Again, as you've seen from Andre's update this month, he's moving very fast. So great things are happening there. So that will be our path to moving to ERC20, and I'll keep you guys updated as to how that progresses as time goes on, as usual. All right, thank you for tuning into the Q&A. It is done. As always, you can always ask us questions in Telegram. You can always send questions into the Q&A form via the Google form that we have on the Telegram channel. We usually pin it, or you can search the Q&A, search Q&A with the ampersand symbol. Just before I go, I just want to remind you that we have the AMA with Whitebit Exchange on Wednesday, November the 4th at 4 p.m. Central European Time. And you can ask them whatever questions you like, any issues with their trading platform that you might want to know about, or anything that might affect you in your trading strategy. Just ask them whatever you want. It's a good time to get involved with them and make sure that you're comfortable with the exchange that you might be trading on. So definitely check that out. It's 4 p.m. Central European Time on Wednesday, November the 4th this week. And then also we have the TML IDE that Thomas has created. It's still in development, but you can go and check it out at tml.idni.org. That's tml.idni.org. I'll leave a link to the description so you can go and play with that. All right, guys, thank you very much. I appreciate you tuning in. As always, you can catch us in the Telegram channels. You can catch us in the next Q&A, and we'll keep plugging away at this project. Thanks.